on, guys? This is EROCK, RevolverUnderground.com, and also BalconyTV Nashville.com. Check out both those sites. They're amazing. They're awesome. I am here with Fallback Plan. Very cool. We're going to do a little bit of interview questions right here, kind of in depth, so you can kind of get to know the artist, know what's going on in the indie scene, all that good stuff. So here we go. You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
You sure?
Bring it.
Positive. What makes a perfect writing environment?
Preferably when he's not there.
Not here.
Not here, yeah. When he's not there, he tends to drive the process a little bit more than I can, because I write most of the lyrics.
Sure.
Well, I write all the lyrics and he writes the music. So sometimes it's a lot easier and quicker for him to write the music, and then he's like, okay, I wrote the song in 20 minutes, go, write a song. And I'm like, yeah, it takes me longer to come up with lyrics than that. So when he's absent, I can concentrate.
It works a lot.
Is that how you feel?
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Awesome.
Let's get
Wow.
dirty. Let's
Somebody's
get dirty.
gonna die tonight, I think. What are some of your creative influences?
Wow.
I've had whiskey and cigarettes so far.
What are your creative influences?
Like good songs.
Yeah.
Like bands that are doing something sort of unique. My favorite bands ever are pretty weird, I guess. The Police and Public Enemy.
How's that weird?
Well,
It's cool.
Yeah,
I dig it.
that's cool.
I saw them on tour, which is great. Because they're done. They're done.
They're dead.
No, they're not that.
Quite. Well, whatever. What's the number? First of all, have you ever rewritten a song? You got done with it, and you said, all right, that's cool, and you came back and said, that's not really cool, we gotta redo it.
Constantly.
But we never redo it. That's what we fight about all the time. We never redo songs. They write a song, and I spend, a week, 2 weeks, putting lyrics to it and coming up with a melody, and I'm confident in it. I give it to them, and they go, oh, you know what, we don't really like the song, we're never going to play it out. We have about an album worth of material that's graveyard, I call it.
We have at least 3 albums worth of material.
Whatever. You don't know anything. We don't play them because I write them, and then they don't like the music, and that's why I make you guys write the music first, and then make sure you're confident with it before you give it to me, because I don't like wasting lyrics. I don't.
Because there's only a handful of words you can choose from.
Whatever.
If you were to put a number on how many times you've rewritten a song, what would that number be?
None. Zero. We
You just
never read.
didn't-
They
you
just
just
write
don't
it
do
and they
it.
don't like it and they just don't revisit it ever.
I would say rewriting and completing, not very many.
Not very many.
Yeah, not very many.
A handful?
No, not even.
Not even. All right. Well, that is not very many.
Well, here's the thing: is we write dozens and dozens of songs, and
Sure.
it kind of like whatever the vibe takes that moves something forward tends to be the direction that we go in. So whatever makes, we probably wrote 70 songs and we recorded 12 for an album.
Now, do you ever come back to those songs that you didn't record
We're starting
cool stuff?
We're
I think
we're starting to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Donna's and ours.
You got 3 albums. You got a lot of work.
It's
You
we
get
have a
busy.
lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's good though. That's all right. It keeps you busy, right? What's the moment in your life, for each of you or collectively, whatever, that you guys decided that, yeah, I think being a musician, a songwriter, I think that's what I want to do, and I'm going to do it.
For me, I honestly came from a more of a theatrical background, and singing was something that I was asked to do as a background for another band. And I started writing, and people started saying, hey, this is pretty good. So I just kind of ran with it. I mean, I think we all kind of have a vision of where we want to go, but sometimes if you just kind of sit back and let whatever lead you, you'll end up in a situation that you never thought you would be in. And I'm here, right now in Nashville, and I'm writing songs, and never
Doing an interview.
And I'm doing an interview with BalconyTV, and never in a million years did I ever think I would be a singer-songwriter, so to speak. So,
Rock on.
yeah.
For new artists or just beginning artists, what's some advice that you would say? Hey, listen, this is what you need to heed because we did it and it didn't
Do you
work
mean
for us.
musical artists?
Musical, yeah.
Yeah, find another line of work.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I think it's a great industry, and I think that it's more important for you to understand the business aspect as well as the art of it, because if you don't, you'll hit a brick wall, because there's not so much that you can do as an artist if you don't know the business yourself, or 2, don't have somebody close to you that you trust that knows the business. Otherwise, you're just going to be playing out and not really going anywhere. So that would be my first thing. And then secondly, I would say to be humble. I think that nobody likes arrogant overachiever, so to speak. So if you're good and people are telling you that you're good, kind of run with it, but just stay humble in the process, and that'll get you a lot further, because this business is about, you know, who you know and networking, and nobody wants to talk to you if you are unapproachable.
I would say in addition to that, like the biggest thing I would give anybody that's starting out is you have to love it. If you don't love it, this is not. I mean, I jokingly say,
you have to love the process.
Yeah, you have to love the process, and you have to understand that it's not always going to be easy. Because what I see where we're from is there's a lot of bands that start out that get a buzz and they're doing really well, and the minute they don't get a record deal, get on tour, whatever it is, it's like the band breaks up and it's done. And it's like, I think Donis and I figured out, you know, a couple of years ago, like, we're in this for the long haul, and we love it. And so that's what you certainly don't make when you're starting out. You don't make any money, and that makes it difficult. So you have to keep a day job and while you're doing it.
Yeah.
You have to love it. Remember that, kids. Remember it.
Do you guys tour at all?
Yes.
Yes. And how do you prepare for that tour? Mentally, physically,
take vacation,
financially.
Call our boss and say,
I'm sick from
I'm
work.
not going to be here. I won't be here.
Basically, right now, we tour between our day job. So one of the things that we do to prepare for that we did do to prepare for that, is get a job that's flexible, that will allow you to tour, and pretty much that's it. So we pretty much jump on every opportunity that comes our way if it makes sense, you know, for the band. So.
And is there a certain thought or mindset that gets you in the right way of thinking? A certain thought that gets you in the right mindset, either before a tour or on a tour or something. Is there something you think about that?
Couple shots of whiskey.
Well,
See, back to whiskey. It's all about whiskey.
I just go back to what he said. I just remember why we're doing it. I mean, it's not glamorous. It's not, you know, well, it can be, I guess, once you get to a certain level. But what you have to remember is that, you know, touring, it doesn't mean that we're jumping on this great big, you know, bus and we have, you know, Patron and a bunch of things. So you're sitting there, and me being a girl, you know, a band of 5 guys. Yeah, I'm in this little van with all these stinky guys, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, this is not what I expected when I thought I was gonna, you know, be a quote unquote singer. So, but then you go back and you go, this is why, you know, remember why you're in it, and when you step on that stage, you know, it makes up for the crappy trip there and the $50 bar tab, which they drink up. So, but you just do it because you love it.
Sure. And that's, you've kind of already answered it, but has there ever been a time in your life you've come to the point where you're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, artist, singer, songwriter, anything. I mean,
I think everybody goes through that.
Yeah.
But I think when you remove yourself from where you are and look at, like for us, I mean, we've had a lot of ups and downs as a band in a short period of time, in 3 years, you know, and it's like, we kind of got a lot of press and did a lot of cool things in the Baltimore scene. It's like, it gets to the point where, like, man, maybe it ran its course. And it's like, no, it didn't run its course.
There's
It's
so
just, it's like stepping up a staircase that is a spiral, and you can never really see the top stair, and you just kind of walk around it. And when you get to a point where maybe there's like a plateau, you're like, maybe it's done, and then you peek around the corner and there's more steps to go.
Yeah,
it's like, well, I need to keep going on this journey. And
I told the band, I actually almost quit the band. We had just released our album, and I told them I was moving to Nashville, and they almost crapped their pants. And I said, no, guys, I said, you don't understand. I said, I'm not moving to Nashville because I want to start a different project. I'm moving there because I want to be inspired to continue. And it didn't make sense to them until I got here, and they realized how much more creative I was and how much less depressed, and how I wanted to move forward. You can't live in a town like this where you can't surround yourself by, you know, artists and not do art, especially if you're an artist, you know.
Absolutely.
So I had to put myself in an environment where other people were doing the same thing, because if everyone's a doctor, you know, and they're living this great life, and you're an artist, you know, you're going to want to be a doctor eventually.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Do you do any co-writing? I mean, you said you write all the lyrics, but have you ever done any co-writing at all?
I try to co-write with my bass player, but he's very difficult to write with. But no, I haven't done any co-writing. I think that since I've been in Nashville, I realized that is an option, and I would definitely like to get into that more, because I don't think that I'm a fully developed songwriter just yet. I'm still learning it. I can only get better if I work with other people.
Absolutely.
So.
What do you like to write about?
You know, I like to write about things that are common and average to everybody. Things that you don't realize, I guess, you have in common with other people. I grew up as an only child, and a lot of times as an only child, you go through a situation you don't have anybody to relate to. You think that, oh, I'm the only person in the world that feels this way. And I think as a songwriter, it's it's nice to be able to put it down on paper and have other people go, wow, like I relate to that. And you're like, really? Like, and it's almost like a friend, like a fan is a friend.
Right,
You're like, oh my God, you relate to my song? Like, oh, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
So I like to write about things that are common to people, you know.
Yeah. That's very cool. Musically?
Like writing with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah. The bass player writes with us all the time. We have a new guitar player that joined the band about a year ago, and we write as a band. Donis and I spend a lot of time. We become kind of beyond the band. We write things that may not end up as band projects, but I've written with a lot of other people, and it's the one thing that tells you is you can find people that you click with that are good to write with, and I think when you find that, you should hold on to it, because one of the things is there's a lot of talented people, particularly like in Baltimore or Nashville or any major market, but it's like that gel that works between whoever the group is that's writing, and I think that's what you find when there's people that can write together well. They continually put out good songs, and that's for this project, and I think other projects that I've been involved in. I've always wanted to have really good songs, great production, great live show, and more importantly, people around me that I like.
Yeah.
We
And
write
hopefully that like
great
me.
together. We definitely are a
Well, that's good.
writing team. Yeah.
That's good. In this current economy, the one that I don't know sucks.
Yeah.
How has that affected what you guys do? Getting shows, getting paid, going on the road. How has that affected you guys?
Take it. You can have it.
You know, I guess when you're not really getting paid that much in the beginning, you don't really see that it is affecting you at all. We haven't really been affected by the economy at all. You know, when it comes to what we do as
You don't get paid anyway, so
right. So it doesn't matter. We're cutting your pay. What pay?
Yeah.
It's the music industry, I guess, is the
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I think what it is the economy is not the greatest it's been. It's definitely better than it was a year ago, that's for sure. It's harder to get guarantees at some of the clubs that, like the guarantees that they're offering us are lower than they were a year ago. But at the same time, we're still finding opportunities, and for us more than anything, it's like we just put a record out. You know, we're promoting it. We're going to be promoting it for next year. And it's like anything else. You stick to it. You grind it out. Hopefully.
Well, I think I think when it comes to the economy, I think that a lot of if you're a band and you're an artist and you're actually looking for somebody to pick you up financially, whether it's an investor or anybody that's going to put any money behind you to tour, I think that because of the economy, a lot of investors and labels are a little bit more tighter as far as who they're willing to lend that money to. And I think as an artist, it's a little bit harder because they're looking for you to be almost established to the point where you don't need them. It's like a bank, and a loan. Like they'll give you a loan if you don't need money.
Yeah.
And I kind of think that that's kind of like how what we're noticing, because we've done a couple of record label showcases where we've gotten great feedback, but yet nobody wants to put the investment or the money behind it to push it forward, and it can get discouraging at times. But then you have to look at it from a business aspect and say, well, look at the economy, and they're taking a big guarantee, and we just have to keep doing what we do, and they'll come around and we're making our own money. So.
Where can we find your music?
You can definitely find it on iTunes. We just released our debut album, Dance in the Rain. You can check us out on MySpace. Actually, we have fallbackplanonline.com. And follow us, on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. We're all over the social media now.
Yeah, we've done a fair amount of licensing. You can hear in episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians or the Real World stuff on MTV or what else? Other stuff.
Yeah,
Other stuff.
We get
all that stuff on your website at all?
Where it's licensed.
Oh, okay.
Because we find out hey, it's going to be on the
Real
Real World
tonight,
Challenge
yeah.
number 1997.
Which is also a great
Yeah.
avenue for artists is music licensing, because it's the first time in our life that we actually got a large check without doing anything. So after playing 5 shows back to back and leaving with a $50 bar tab and
By the way, did you check your ASCAP account?
right.
No.
And then all of a
Why?
sudden you go home and you get a check for $1,200 for something you don't even remember doing but just submitting. So that's a really cool avenue, and that again comes from knowing the business and knowing how to push yourself in other areas besides just performance. So, yeah.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you
It's
so
been a
much for
pleasure.
having us.
And
Nice meeting you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
See you guys.